Welcome to JMT 2006. This year I'm heading from Whitney Portal up to Yosemite. Last year I started from Yosemite, went downhill, down south. This year, because I'm going north, I'll be hitting the hardest passes within the first couple days. So, well, my legs are still fresh, so hopefully I'll be able to handle them better. And when my legs get much more tired at the end, I will be able to handle the lower passes without as much problem. At least that's the theory anyway. This year I'll be starting on September 4th, 2006. Plan A has me coming in 9 days, Plan B in 10 days. So I'm planning for 10 days. Worst comes to worst, I can always stop at Red's Meadow and resupply in case I'm going to be late. Last year, most of the things I brought were right on. They did their job rather well, and I'm going to continue doing those. I've made a few small changes to hopefully make this trip a little bit nicer and more friendly. Alright, so let's get to those right now. First difference is this is the water purification system. This year it's a single tablet. It's not iodine. It's some other chemical compound or something. I don't know what it is, but you just drop this in, let it do its business, and it's supposed to taste rather well, much better than iodine. Individual packets, so I only have to take what I need. I'm taking 10. I don't think I'm going to use that much. The research I did last year said that there was not much of a risk of getting Giardia from the water itself, because the dirtiest water in the Sierras was cleaner than the tap water of San Francisco. However, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get Giardia. The most likely cause of getting it is from your hands if you don't wash it. So I'm definitely going to bring this again, this hand sanitizer, to make sure my hands are pure before I handle any food. The next thing to make my trip a lot more comfortable is a leave. I'm going to take it every night before going to bed. I know my legs are going to be very tired and sore and maybe a little swollen, and this will make the pain subside enough to get me a nice rest at night. The next morning, hopefully all the pain will be gone and I'll be able to tackle the next day. I'm bringing this. I'm going to slather this on my feet at night, and then again in the morning. Keep my feet nice and the skin on my feet nice and soft and supple, and hopefully then it'll alleviate any friction and make my feet a lot happier during the hike. We'll see how it works. It's a test, and I'll let you know as it goes along how that works. Last year, for my cup that I drank my tea out of, I brought 2 very thin nested cups. They were kind of flimsy and they kind of broke down near the end of the trip, so this year I decided to go with a much sturdier cup. I can store things inside it that I don't want crushed, so it does do double duty. It's a little bit heavier, but I think it's worth it if it stays around, and it doesn't take up much more space. So hopefully this will work for me rather well. The other idea I had was to have a much larger water bottle that fits into the side pouch that I can reach on my backpack, so I don't have to fill it up as often from my main water reservoir. The other benefit to this is I don't need to take off the lid to drink. I just twist the top and I drink through the top and then close it back down again. So it should make it a little bit easier to drink from, and the larger size will maybe come in handy. It may be too much, but we'll see as the time goes on. This is an extra shirt. It goes against what you're supposed to do in ultralight backpacking, but I've actually justified it by saying that it's going to be multi-use. This is going to be shoved into my tent's stuff sack along with my fleece shirt as my pillow. I'm not bringing along the other part of my Thermarest pads for a pillow, so I'm doing double duty with this shirt. And the other benefit to this shirt is that it's going to be what I wear coming out of Yosemite Valley, into Yosemite Valley the last day, coming back into civilization. So my shirt is a little bit cleaner and nicer, so I don't look like total vagabond. So that should be nice. I decided that thin socks are the way to go. These are Cool Max running socks. 2 pair weigh about the same as a pair of hiking socks. Last year, I believe that the thick socks kind of restricted my feet inside my shoes as my feet swelled and actually caused more blisters than they helped. So this year I decided to go with the thin socks, allow my feet more room to breathe and to stretch out. I tested it out on my 21-mile hike and had no problems with it, and they were very comfortable, so this is what I'm going with. And I'm going with 2 pair this time, so I can wash one, and if one of them gets frozen, I can just put it on the outside of the pack and let it thaw out and wear it the next day. So I'll alternate socks. Good idea there. Also decided this year I needed a wider brimmed hat to prevent the sun from hitting my neck and face and ears, so I went with this wider brimmed Tilly hat. Very comfortable, very nice to wear, and this is definitely going to be beneficial on the trail. It's also waterproof, so if it rains, and there is some chance of rain on the September 6th and 7th, there's a chance of rain, about 30% chance. So if it rains, this will kind of prevent the rain from getting on my head and prevent my face and neck from getting wet. So hopefully it doesn't rain, but if it does, I've got it covered. Okay, the next change is the backpack. Last year I had the Gossamer Gear Mariposa. This year I went with an upgrade. This is the Mariposa Plus. It has a slightly larger body to it, but a little bit shorter collar, so it's about the same height. Big benefit is the larger pockets on the side, so I can put more things on the outside. Last year when it was totally full, very difficult to slide things into the pocket. This year there's a little bit more room, so it's a lot nicer. I also decided to get a little bit firmer pad for my sleeping pad and backrest pad for the backpack. This is made of a much firmer foam than the one I had last year, and I think the 3D shape of this will allow more airflow against my back to keep my back a little more comfortable while I'm hiking. So this is very nice, very comfortable on a firm ground, because it'll prevent those rocks from poking through. So I should have a nice comfortable night here resting on this. One thing about this, the same thing last year, is that you can remove the pads that come with it and replace it with items of clothing, double duty. So this year I decided that I'm going to put my gloves in here on this side, and this side I've got my fleece hat. So the padding for the shoulder straps are actually clothing that I'm going to be using during the hike. So it provides, you don't have as much weight, and that's the idea behind going lightweight. Some of the things that are the same that I liked last year and will continue, the headlamp, I had to get a new one this year. The old one broke, so got a replacement. So this is going to be a lifesaver at night when I need to see where I'm going. Pack towel, same as last year. Very lightweight, dries very quickly, packs down really small. It feels really nice against your face because it's nice and soft. This is really, really good stuff. The ground cloth last year was, I'm keeping the same one. There's a few little holes here and there, but for the most part it's still intact. Maybe it's last time through, but it's done very good for me. I double it over so it's a little bit of padding, and this silver kind of reflects some of the heat back up towards me. That's what they say in the advertisements, but don't know if that's true. But it felt good to sleep on it, and it's sturdy enough for what I'm using, and it's nice and thin and very lightweight. So this is something definitely I'm going to keep. Sleeping bag is the same. It's the 15-degree bag. It was nice and comfortable. It kept me very warm, and if I didn't sleep well, I would not be able to go out for the next day and hammer. So I'm willing to take the little hit in the extra weight of the sleeping bag so that I can get a nice, decent night's sleep. Okay, and my cold weather gear and foul weather gear. Once again, taking this nice thin fleece shirt / jacket. It did me very well last year. Nice and light, nice and comfortable, very warm. The rain suit, wind suit is once again the same. The pants and the jacket combines for about 9 ounces. And it went through last season in flying colors, no problems with it. Nice and sturdy, it held up, so I'm going to continue on with it this year. So that should keep me nice and dry in case of rain, which I said before may actually happen. My tent is going to stay the same. It did well for me. I thought about adding a beak to it, but didn't have the material, and it never really seemed to work. And I think even in a rainstorm, I won't get that wet inside. I've got my plastic bags that I can cover my head with, my feet, so I don't think I'll have any problem with rain with that tent. I was very happy with it last year. Okay, I think that's all of the clothing and extra stuff, so now let me show you what I'm going to have for food.
Oops.
Okay, here we are. Here's my food. Here is my container full of 8.5 days worth of food. It's pretty much full because I have one complete day's worth that I'm going to carry outside of the container. And this is what I'm going to be eating. For breakfast, I'm going to be having various types of protein bars. This one here has 30 grams of protein and about 300 calories. Most of them are around 270 calories with about 20-something grams of protein. I wanted something nice and thick and hearty, give me some protein in the morning while I'm hiking. So I need to have a bar that I can eat while walking that'll provide me with enough substance to keep me going. And during the day, this is my special drink mix. I've got plenty of things. I should be able to have 2 quarts a day of this special drink mix to keep my blood sugar levels high while I'm hiking, to keep me going all day. I've got plenty of Fritos, 160 calories per ounce, which is one of the most calorie-dense foods that I've been able to see, and that should keep me going for the snack. That's nice and salty and will taste very good. Of course, wheat thins, which I will have snacks and also for lunch. Gorp, of course. This year I'm bringing very small amounts of Gorp. Last year at Red's Meadow on the 3rd day, I realized I had way too much, and I threw away maybe a pound and a half of Gorp. It was just too much. So this is probably enough for 10 days. I'll probably use it all up, but that's fine. For some reason, hiking with and eating Gorp while hiking just doesn't quite sit right, so I don't eat it very much. Okay, then when I hit lunch, I've got a pound and a half of these half beef, half ostrich meat sticks. They taste pretty good. They're fairly dry, so I have to drink a lot of water, but they taste very good. They're not overly salty and fatty like Slim Jims. So I like these much better, and hopefully they'll provide me with enough substance. And last year, I really wished I had more meat sticks. I really craved that dense protein, And so this year I brought more than I brought last year. So this should satisfy me. 1.5 sticks of these at lunch. If I have 2, that's fine. I have a few extra. Also having a granola bar. It's only 120 calories, nice and small, but it can add some carbohydrates to the wheat thins and the protein. For dinner, the standard 1.5 cubes of top ramen with only 1 flavor packet. The difference this year is I freeze-dried some vegetables. These are peas, corn, carrots, and green beans. Freeze-dried to, they weigh just a couple ounces, and this, I freeze-dried a grand total about 2 pounds. So this is about a pound of vegetables down to a couple ounces because the water is gone. And it reconstitutes rather nicely and tastes fairly good. So this is be a good supplement, nice vitamins and minerals and so forth to my bland top ramen. Again, a meat stick to add protein to the mix. I decided this year, instead of bringing along tea bags, I would bring along just this powdered tea. I could mix it to either hot water or cold water. I'll probably mix it with cold water and drink it outside. But if I'm cold, I may mix it with hot water. I have the opportunity to choose. So, and it tastes fairly good. It's pre-sweetened, so I don't have to deal with the old tea bags. I also brought along some GABA, with gamma aminobutyric acid, to take right before bedtime. It's to help me nice restful sleep, and also to enhance my growth hormone secretion to repair my body and get it ready for the next day. Okay, now one of the most fun things I did last year, it worked out really well for me, was to make this Pepsi can stove. This is made from 2 halves of a Pepsi can with an inner wall right here, so there's a double wall, and I put fiberglass insulation in between the 2 walls and drilled some holes here at the top. There's some notches down at the very bottom of the inside wall here, so when I pour in the denatured alcohol, which is right here, which I can store in a nice light clear plastic container, it soaks in underneath into the insulation. I light it and the flames come out of these holes, and I made this windscreen right here that I put over. This also doubles as a pot holder, so the pot fits right on there. There's about a 1/2 inch gap around there to allow enough air in, some holes here, and the water boils in about 5 minutes. 16 ounces of water. So it worked out very well last year, and this year I expect it to do the same thing. Okay, and so I believe that's about it. The only other thing is I decided this is the best way to go. These naked juice containers for scooping up the water out of the stream. You can grab onto the handle. And the most important thing is that it has to have the coarse threads on the top. The fine threads, really just the top, it gets cross-threaded way too much, and it's not very sturdy. This is very sturdy. So that's about it. That's everything I've got. Everything looks like it's got a purpose, and I've researched it, and everything's going to be great. Let's see how it goes from here. This is the first campground. It's a car camping spot called the Lone Pine Campground. It's about halfway between Lone Pine and Mount Whitney, and it does afford a pretty nice view of Mount Whitney. That is Mount Whitney right up there. Hello, good morning on day number 1. I'm here at the Whitney Trailhead. Last night was really warm with almost a full moon, so it's hard to fall asleep, but I'm well rested and ready to go. It is now 7:05 in the a.m. on September 4th, 2006. And here I go. Well, I've been hiking for about 2 hours now, and I made it to Trailside Meadow. I take a little breather. The uphill's been pretty good, pretty steady. The rocks are starting to get a little bit more prominent in the trail, but it's not bad. Made it to trail camp. It is now 9:34. It's actually a little tiring, but feeling good still. It's high energy, no problems with my feet, no blisters. It's going to take a small rest here before tackling the 99 switchbacks, which goes somewhere up there. Then over to Whitney, which is somewhere over there. Still here at trail camp. I'm noticing there's a ton of marmots lumbering about, getting into people's packs. They're very well fed. Made it to the top of Whitney. As you can see, it's a little crowded here. I've got lots of company as I pan around. The clouds are not very ominous. A little chilly, not very windy. Pretty happy about that. It's now 12:03, so I made it up in pretty good time. Started to get a little lightheaded on this last little grunt up to the top. Started stumbling a lot. So I need to stop, eat lunch, and rest. And by the way, there's a toilet somewhere on there, making it the highest toilet in the entire continental U.S. The loo with a view, as they say. I think I'm going to use it. Alright, getting close to the place where I dropped my pack, and then I can continue on to JMT, which follows that path down. Goes down there. Guitar Lake is to the right, you can't see it. Then Timberline Lake is down there. Then off around that bend to the right. Looks gorgeous, can't wait to be there. I've been hiking some distance down from the last time I talked to you. I've passed Timberline Lake. I'm getting near Crabtree Ranger Station, but I'm just in awe of this scenery, so I had to take a picture. Made it to camp number 1. There's Wallace Creek right there. 21.9 miles. My feet kind of feel pounded. My legs feel pounded, but no blisters. Not really any problems with my feet. Just overall tired, but this is good. So I got in at 5:12. So that's the end of my day. Good morning. Day number 2. I had a fairly nice rest. My legs are feeling great. My feet are feeling awesome. Today's going to be a rather nasty day. Got Forester and Glen Pass today. 24.7 miles. I'm getting on the road now at 6:42. So it's an early start, and hopefully I'll get over there fine. Now let me show you what the mornings are here. This is the trail going off to the High Sierra Trail. Made it to the trail junction with Lake South America. It's now 8:28, making some good time. I got 4.3 miles to go, and I think Forester is up there. It's fairly good terrain up until about a half mile from the end, then it goes straight up. Let me pan around. Gorgeous day, no wind, not a cloud in the sky. Yesterday there was a few clouds that looked like they held some moisture, but wasn't anything to worry about. Hopefully that'll continue. There it is, Forester Pass. It's now 10:24, so I've been making some fairly good time. Haven't been pushing too hard. As you can see, a few clouds are coming into the picture now, but still not too bad. Let me turn around here. The way things have been going, they say Said in the morning it's cloudless. Evening the clouds come in, maybe with some moisture in them. But so far no rain. Let's hope it stays that way. This is gorgeous. And there's the trail I gotta take going down. I've decided that I'm gonna stop here for lunch. Haven't quite hit the Center Basin Trail junction, but once I get down into the tree level, I probably won't have as good a view as this. So this is a great place to stop. Pan around, this is where I've come. Trail, as you can see, is kind of nice. Gentle downslope. I'm going pretty fast. My feet are feeling great, no blisters, legs are feeling good. This is a good day. Made it to the junction down here at Lower Vedette Meadow. I've finished my downhill trek. Got about 7 miles to go before I hit my campsite tonight. Let me pan around here to show you Lower Vedette Meadow. It is now about 1:31, so I give myself about 4 hours till I hit my campsite. Made it to Glen Pass. Oh, my feet and legs feel all right. It's just I ran out of energy. I'm on zero. The needle is on empty. But there's my destination 2 miles down, Ray Lakes. The clouds look rather nasty. Some people coming down so they got a few raindrops, but fortunately for me, it's nice and clear up here right now, straight above me. The clouds seem to be going. That's what I came up. Whew. Okay, as you can see, Ray Lake is right in the background. I'm not quite there yet, but the rain is starting to come. It is now 4:21. I left the pass at 3:21, so I'm coming down some distance without rain, getting lucky, but luck didn't hold out. Hopefully this is just a light sprinkle and I can set up my tent in the dry. Let's hope. Made it to camp without any real rain hitting, just a few little sprinkles. The sky still looks a little bit nasty, but actually I think we're going to have a nice clear night. It seems like it's clearing up to some extent. Make a correction, I got to the top of the pass at 3:31, and I got here at this campsite about 4:45. And it feels good to stop. My legs and feet are a bit beaten up. Be good to take a rest. Good morning. Welcome to day number 3. The first 2 days, pretty rough on my feet and legs, but right now feeling pretty good. I had a pretty cold night last night. A lot of condensation on the inside of the tent, which is why it's taken me so long to get going. It's now 7:23. Still have a little ways to get ready, maybe another 5 minutes or so. Let me pan you around on this this lake. It's looking pretty nice this morning. Sorry about that. There's no wind. Just a few little tiny clouds up in the sky. Gorgeous morning. Made it down to the Golden Gate of the Sierra. This is the lowest point of this downward trek from Ray Lakes, and I did get on the trail at 7:29. It's now 10 o'clock. I'll take you across this bridge. That sign did say 1 person at a time for a reason. This thing is a bit rickety. This looks like a nice place for lunch. It's 11:38. I've been getting a few little tiny raindrops, but right above me it doesn't look too bad. But I hope it stays dry. There's Pinchot Pass up there. It's starting to rain now. You can see the clouds are pretty nasty. So I don't think I'm going to get away with just a warning this time. I think this is a full deal. So I got to get out the rain gear and put away the camera. And so I may not be able to take a picture from the top of Pinchot. That's all right. Made it over the pass. As you can see, I had a clear spot right above my head, so it stopped raining for just a bit. And this side of the pass actually looks much clearer. It may not look great, but it's better than the other side. Hopefully I'll be clear the rest of the way. I got to the top at exactly 1:30. Continuing down from Pinchot Pass, it's rare that you get to see the trail laid out so far in front of you. That's Mather Pass. I'm staying right below it. So as you can see, I've got a lot of treeless climbing up the last little bit. But as I go down, it'll all be in the trees. Got a little bit of rain after I last talked to you, a little bit of hail, but really kind of mild. Let's hope it stays that way. Made it to my campsite. I decided not to go way over to the lake below Split Mountain. Instead, I decided to camp next to these two small little lakelets. Someone else is at the upper lakelet, so I'm down here. There's the pass I'll be hitting tomorrow morning. It's a little bit breezy, kind of chilly. The clouds are not too bad, but still a little cause for concern. It'll probably blow over before I go to bed. One last little note before I start cooking dinner. You know how hard it is to set this tent up in a very strong wind? By the way, I got to this campsite at 5:13, and I've got my eyes right there. Good morning, day number 4. All right, it was a very cold night last night, but as I expected, the wind died down, the clouds disappeared. There's not a single cloud in the sky now. It's bitter cold, still kind of needing the warm weather protection here. But gonna head out now. It's about 7:04, and my legs and feet are feeling great after the rest I had, and I'm ready to tackle this day. It's a 27-mile day approximately. Oh, so let's see how that goes. Made it to the top of Mather Pass. It's now 7:43. Not too bad. Once I hit the sun though, it really warmed up. Now, let's take a look down the other side here. See Palisade Lake there, the upper one. Clear sky, no wind. This is going to be a great day. It's now 8:57. I've reached the bottom part of the lower Palisade Lakes, and here's my favorite beachfront property. I'll take a little bit of a break here before I head down the Golden Staircase. Almost down to the bottom of the Golden Staircase. Looking at the forest down there, looks like there's a lot more greenery, green trees coming in amongst the dead ones from that fire. So it looks like the forest is recovering, which is very good. It's 11:59. I've reached Grouse Meadow. This seems like a great place for lunch. I've just started my uphill journey up to Muir Pass. So far, the trail, as you can see here, is pretty easy, and it stays that way for a while, but then it gets tougher. This is the spot last year where I had to stop early on the way down from Muir Pass. What a difference a year makes. Today I'm feeling pretty good. I've already gone about 15 miles or so, still feeling good. I'm stopping here just a little rest and resupply my water before my big trek up. Thought I'd take a moment, a little breather, show you the tremendous amount of work they've had to do on this trail. It is so great that they did it. Let me pan around and show you the beauty. There's a little cloud kind of poking its head up over the tops there. I think it's going to pass me by, but definitely getting more cloudy as the day goes on. But that's where I've been, so if the clouds go there, I don't care. Made it to the hut, top of Muir Pass. It's now 4:31. A little breezy, chilly, but clouds don't look too bad. Looks like I'll escape any rain tonight. Looks pretty bad over there, but the wind is blowing at my back, so that's blowing away from me. Made it to Evolution Lake. Found a nice little spot here, sheltered by the trees. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much wind. The sky is looking like it's clearing up a bit. It's now 6:50, so starting to get a little bit of sunset glow going here. So I'm glad I made it when I did.
Good morning. Welcome to day number 5. Can you believe that sometime during today I'm going to be halfway done? If the second half is as fast as this first half, this thing is just flying by. That'll be awesome. My legs are starting to feel a little bit of a remnant of the day's hikes when I wake up in the morning, but they kind of loosen up as they go, so it's no problem. Still feeling strong, and right now it's 6:51. I'm going to get on the road in a little bit, but kind of want to show you the Evolution Lake. It's just absolutely pure, dead calm. Perfect reflection. If I turn over this way, you can see the moon right there, full moon. It's 9:13. I made it to the Evolution Creek crossing. First place that I'm actually going to get my feet wet. Looks very low this year, much lower than usual. Still don't want to go across there. It's probably above my knee. I'll walk across over there. Yeah, as I thought, not too deep. The water's still pretty darn cold though. This sign pretty much marks the exact middle of my journey. So what's ahead of me should be easier than what's behind me. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the trip. Right now it's about 11:48, so I'm going to stop here and have some lunch before I start uphill. Here's the inlet to Sally Keys Lakes. I've been hammering for quite a while. Some pretty good up, some nice gentle upward path through a forest. But it's about time for me to take a break before I head up to Selden Pass. And you can see the trail right there. So this is a great place to take a break. I enjoyed my little break. Started heading up the trail now. This is the other one of Sally Keys Lakes. I was next to the other one. Let me pan up here. Got a neat little stream running down with a couple waterfalls. But just right up over that bend, or the ridge, is the top. So I'm not too far away. Well, made it to the top. I was right. Just over that ridge. Wasn't too far, but just that it was a very short, steep, switchbacky section. Let your legs know about it for sure. Anyway, this is the other side of Selden Pass. Marie Lakes. Gorgeous, gorgeous view. Another view of the lake a little bit further down. A little bit more unobstructed. By the way, I got to the top at 3:46. Made it to Rosemary Meadow. Here's one of my favorite signs to Rose Lake. Just kind of looks sad there, leaning over. But let me pan around. I don't know why it would be sad. It's in such a very gorgeous place. Here's the famous Bear Creek crossing. Some people were saying that you can cross up there somewhere, stepping on rocks, and you don't have to get your feet wet. I want to get my feet wet, so I'm going to walk across. That wasn't too bad. Just below the knee. Felt pretty good too. I found my next home away from home. It's 5:36 right now. I went an extra 1.2 miles to where the Lake Italy trail junction is. Figured if I'm feeling good and can push further, that'll mean that my day that I go into Tuolomne Meadows will be a little bit shorter. Well, I'll be able to get in there before the grill closes so I can get myself a hamburger. As you can see right there, that's Bear Creek burbling by. Hopefully it won't keep me awake at night. Good morning. Welcome to day 6. It's freezing cold this morning, but I had a pretty good night's sleep. By the way, note to self, if it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you have the choice of keeping your shoes dry or going through the stream, keep them dry. Very difficult to put your feet into frozen shoes in the morning. Anyway, it's 7:15, taking a little extra time because of the frozen shoes, but I'm on my way. As I'm getting up closer to the Bear Ridge Trail Junction, I've been hiking through this dense forest, much different than I've been hiking through so far. It's kind of nice. It's still kind of cold because the sun isn't out, but as you can see, the sun is just poking through. It's now just after 8 o'clock, so it's been a cold morning, but I am warming up. I'm near the bottom where the trail offshoot is to Edison Lake, and I've been coming down a nice soft trail. I've been going really fast, nice and shaded. And when we get down to the bottom here, it's interesting to see the aspen groves. Completely different type of plant life from what you see at the top. It's interesting the different types of ecosystems you go through on this trail. This is pretty nice. Made it to the bottom of that climb down from Bear Ridge. This is the lowest point I'm going to get to in a while, in elevation wise. Nice little stream here. This is near where the Lake Edison trail offshoot is, but I'm going to take a little break here, regroup, and then start my ascent up to Silver Pass. Here's the Mott Lake Trail Junction. This next section, as I remember coming the other way, was just incredibly steep but short. Not looking forward to going up it, but gotta do it. Here goes. Alright, here's what the trail kind of looks like. Don't know if you can really pick it up on film how steep that is, but you can tell it is rocky. Footing isn't good, a lot of big steps. Look at this, full-on staircase. This is steep. I got to the top of that fun little section. There was a construction crew maintaining the trail. Doing a fairly good job, about 20 or so of them. They're moving rocks, making the trail a little bit nicer. They all had SCA on their helmets. I was wondering why the Society for Creative Anachronisms were doing trail maintenance, but whatever. It's about 12:12, and gonna stop right here by this nice babbling brook for some lunch before I tackle the last 3 miles or so up to Silver Pass. Made it to the top of Silver Pass. It's now 1:18. There's a signpost, but there's no sign. Inside the tent. That other one was a fall summit. Got to the top about 1:24. This is the last of the great passes. I noticed that there's a lot more snow coming down. That snowfield right there, I had to cross over that coming down from the top. It's a bit treacherous, but what a view. Down there is Tully Hole. I've been climbing up here, fairly steep incline for a while now. See, there's a trail coming across there, some switchbacks all the way up. The trail is steep, but it's soft and very forgiving on the feet, so I don't mind. Here's Virginia Lake. This is where I was gonna camp. This was on the plan, but since I got ahead yesterday, I'm gonna go ahead and do the 2.1 miles over to Purple Lake. It's now 3:57, so I should get in there really fast. Found my campsite. It's right near the trail junction, right there, going up towards Duck Lake. Wanted to camp down there, but there's a restoration site, so this is my only shot. There's my little view of Purple Lake. Well, here's how I'm gonna sleep tonight. Not enough room in this little area for a tent, and I kind of like sleeping under the stars anyway. By the way, I got in here around 4:50. Good morning. Welcome to day number 7. Boy, these days are going by fast. My toes are starting to swell up a little bit, so it's a little bit tough getting going in the morning. It's a little bit stiff to start walking, but then it gets better. Very cold night last night, very windy, kind of kept me awake. But today I get to Red's Meadow and a hamburger. Looking forward to that. Well, I got out of camp at 7 o'clock straight up, and I finally hit some sun, so I'm gonna shed off these layers and eat my breakfast and enjoy the warmth. Made it to Red's Meadow. I really put my head down and hammered. Got here at 11:20. I'm gonna go freshen up and have a burger. Oh, what a great cheeseburger that was. I decided to stay on this side of the river this time and go right past Devil's Post Pile. This is Rosalie Lake. This on my original plan was where I was gonna be staying, but it's only 3:33 right now, so gonna keep going all the way down to Shadow Lake, then up as far as I can before my feet give out. My toes are a bit swelling and hurting a little bit, but I can make it. Here's my camp spot. I'm just before the sign where you go either to Lake Udiza or go up to Garnet Lake. I'm not too far away from the stream, and right now it's 4:39. I'm actually in fairly early to my campsite. I think I'll go soak my feet and maybe soak my head. Maybe that'll do some good. Good morning. Welcome to day 8. Today I've got a challenge ahead of me. I've got 25.5 miles to go in 10 hours to get to Tuolomne Meadows, so I can get there before the grill closes. My feet are a little sore, but feeling better than yesterday. I'm glad I took the extra time to go the distance so that today I don't have to go as far. Well, the challenge is afoot, and I'm off, and it's 7 o'clock straight up. Coming over the ridge to Garnet Lake. Absolutely dead calm. I've passed Thousand Island Lake, and on my way up to Island Pass, and it gives me a good vantage point to see all of the islands. Beautiful. This seems like a nice place to stop and take a break, refill my water bottle. I've come about 9.5 miles, and it's now about 10:33. Here's Donahue Pass. Pretty breezy, pretty bleak. No snow. Except that little tiny patch. No snow on the trail. It's 11:47. I've got 14 miles to go. 5 hours, 15 minutes to get there. It's 12:24. I haven't come too far down from the pass, and it's very rocky, jagged edges. Oh, my feet are just torn into hamburger. There's no way I'm gonna make it down there, so I'm just gonna take it easy, have some lunch, and then just casually stroll in. Well, after a couple hours of descending on a trail with large rocks, pointed rocks in the bottom of my foot, and big step downs. Finally got down to Lyle Canyon, so I got about 9 miles to go. It's now about 2:06. Oh, don't think I'll make it, but just have a nice easy time. Tuolomne Meadows 5.6. It's now 3:05. I might make Tuolomne Meadows 1.4. It's now 4:37. Well, I got to the grill at 5:35. Too late, but I did make my phone call, and came up here to the camp, and I have the same one that I had last year. It's one of the only ones open. I am just dead tired, and I just need to get some sleep. Good morning, and this is the final good morning. It's now 7:13 and I'm on my way. About 9.5 hours, I will be done. I have some companions here on the trail. Cathedral Pass, the last pass I have to cross. It's now 9:35 and I've got all downhill to go. There's the Sunrise High Sierra camp. So I've got a little over 13 miles to go. It's now 11 o'clock straight up. This is a bridge over Nevada Falls. I only have Vernal Falls to go and then I'm home. There's Vernal Falls. I'm on the bridge right now that tells me that there's less than a mile to go. Here it is, the sign. I am done. It's now 6:19. I still have a ways to go to get to where my parents are, but this is the official end.
Go.
I'm done.
Yay!
I'm finished. It's 6:26 right now. The official time was up there at the sign, but this is the semi-official time. And my feet are absolutely killing me. And later on I'll give you I'll take my shoes off and let you see it.
Oh. Uck. Comments from the peanut gallery. Uck.
For the squeamish, look away. Here's our campsite at the backpackers camp. Rather interesting end to the trip. See, here's where I was sleeping, and when my father left on his trip up to the Half Dome, he left some food on that table right there, and lo and behold, a very large bear walked right through there, 10 feet away from my face, got up on the table, grabbed 2 of them, walked over there, ate them, and then went off into the woods. Then, not 5 minutes later, we heard some cracking sound, and a very large tree decided just to fall down across the river and ended up right there. That's the end of the tree, narrowly missing that person's tent right there. All this happens on the day after I get out 9 days on the trail. Rather interesting day. As promised, here are my toes. I told you if you're squeamish, you didn't want to see it. Here he is, finishing his
Ordeal than I could possibly have imagined.
make it to.
Last mile took me an hour and 20 minutes.
How's your knees?
I got knees okay. I was halfway up the cables, and I was just sitting down, braced on one of the supports, and I was thinking, I'm just going to turn around and go back. I was starting to feel a little bit queasy, sick to my stomach. Then I rested for a while, and I got up and started walking one foot in front of the other, and I made it to the top.
Yay!
And it was, what an ordeal. It took me 2 hours to do the last 2 miles. They lied. They lied about how difficult that cable thing is. So, I'm ready for a beer.
Okay.